And we're live. Welcome back, all you party people. Hey, all you crazy sci-fi and fantasy fans. It's time for your daily dose of shenanigans over here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. Just three nerdy veterans geeking out over our science fiction passions and fantastical fantasies. A place where magic is king, the sky is the limit, and space is the place. We are the podcast that puts the fun in dysfunction. So without further ado, we're going to let our guest, returning guest, if you will, Mr. N.R. LaPoint, introduce himself.
Hello. I'm N.R. LaPoint. I have several novels out, and the one we're going to be talking to is I have a short story in an anthology entitled "Shoot the Devil."
Outstanding. And so if you want to know where I first met him, Declan introduced us and we introduced him. He is episode 187, people. So go check that out. That was a fun interview about Gun Mangus. I'm never going to get that right. Magus. I was right the second time then. We will take it. All right. Since you've been here before, we switched it up for you. The religion questions changed just a little bit. So hold your horses, but we ready for you. We're ready for you. All right. Last Starfighter, Tron, or RoboCop?
Oh, goodness. I need to see The Last Starfighter. It's on my need to watch list. I have not seen RoboCop. I remember enjoying Tron years ago when I saw it. So that's a tough one. Though I have been, as I said, I need to see Last Starfighter. A few friends raving about how good that one is.
It's good. It ages well. It's family friendly, so that's always a plus. And I would say the same thing. I know RoboCop's a little bit violent. It's good. It ages well, but it's a little violent. Right. So, all right. And because we are polytheistic, Willow, Legend, or Conan the Barbarian?
Ooh. Haven't seen those in a while. I'd have to go with Conan the Barbarian on this one, I think.
Yeah. I did all three of them, so there was no wrong answer here.
Yeah, that's a tough. I remember having mixed feelings about Legend. I remember enjoying Willow though. I haven't seen those probably since either early college or high school, so it's been over a decade.
Perfect excuse to rewatch them just to confirm your bias.
Yes.
All right, and because of the season, and because of the topic of your anthology, Dracula, Nightmare on Elm Street, or Dog Soldiers?
Which Dracula?
Dealer's choice. Declan likes Bram Stoker. Was it Bela Lugosi? Other people like Bram Stoker's. I'll let you pick.
Okay, I think I'd probably have to go with the first Christopher Lee one. We had Peter Cushing as Van Helsing. It wasn't a straight up adaptation of the book, but I thought it got a lot of the themes across pretty well. Visually, Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula is great, but it has there's a few tweaks that really didn't sit well with me. Even though it also has a really fantastic cast, honestly. Yeah, I'm also a sucker for Christopher Lee, so that brings my bias to the table.
Outstanding. That's a good answer. So, dear listener, today we'll be doing a brief episode as we dive into the worlds of anthologies and short stories. So today we have Shoot the Devil, 10 Tales of Humans Defeating the Demonic. And it's an anthology, obviously. So let's see what this is all about. So I'm going to read you the blurb. So 10 of Superversive's finest team up to bring tales from a serial killer's basement to the weird west to the average small town, all featuring mostly ordinary men and women fighting back against the forces of darkness. All right, so before we dive into your story, what is it called?
My story is entitled Phantom Ridge, the subtitle being From the Case Files of Virgil Everness.
So with a name like that, does that mean there are more Virgil Everness stories?
Oh, there will be. I've gotten some feedback from a variety of people that want to see more of him. So that'll probably be my next project, actually.
Outstanding. All right. So what would be a Reader's Digest version of synopsis for your short story?
All right. Let's see. I guess Virgil Everness is a bit of a paranormal investigator, and he with his wife go on sorry, the cold's hitting me.
I swear he's sick every time we interview him, but it's not my fault.
They go on various, I guess, assignments when they're brought to their attention by their bishop. In this case, the bishop receives a letter from a priest in a small city and calling for help, and so they get sent on their way.
Okay. So what was the inspiration for the story?
Well, I've been wanting to toy around with a few ideas for a while, and when Declan Finn approached me about being involved in this project, I jumped on it. So the inspirations come from like I've been wanting to toy around with a bit of a weird Western motif, and I've also really loved the idea of basically the Catholic Church having monster hunters, or people in general, like hunting monsters more or less for a living. Like Larry Correa's Monster Hunter International, to an extent, Jim Butcher's stuff. Yes, the Paxton Locke stuff, and then I guess the early seasons of Supernatural. So pretty broad set of influences coming together.
So you didn't like the later seasons?
I stopped with season 3.
Okay, I'm just now finding I'm just now finding that series of Supernatural. So I've just started. I'm on episode like 6 now.
Okay.
So I got 15 seasons to make it through.
Oh, has it gone that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. So what subgenres would you consider your story Phantom Ridge to fit into?
Subgenres, weird Western, pulp in general. Let's see what. There's a bit of a supernatural thriller vibe to it. Trying to think of certain words that describe the like the mystery crime solving. There's a bit of that to it.
Now I know Declan had said the anthology itself had a lot of horror inspirations, which kind of fits with a title like that.
Yeah.
But since your story is not horror, you said specifically that it was weird Western. What is it about the weird Western that appeals to you?
Oh, the weird my background, what Westerns I enjoyed are mostly the John Wayne stuff. As I mentioned in our the last time I was on, I was also a big fan of like the weird tales, like Lovecraft, Clark Ashton Smith, and that sort of stuff. So it kind of mishmashing the Western with the drawing a blank. These sort of like eldritch horror aspects of cosmic horror. That's it. So it's a blending of the Western and cosmic horror into a single entity.
Okay, that fits, I guess, with your love of Lovecraft. So, a lot of authors create some very horrific scenarios for their characters to inhabit because, if everything goes well, it's a boring story. So, given all the twists and turns without spoilers that you've put into this story, Phantom Ridge, would you live in that world if you could?
Ooh, that's that's an interesting question. Yeah, I probably. I mean, the horrors are much more obvious and supernatural than some of the mundane horrors we see if you turn on the news for 5 seconds. And
Okay.
my stories, I tend to have authority figures that are a bit more sympathetic, especially to the protagonist. So
Okay.
I think that'd be a plus as well.
Well, the good thing is if you get to stay to be the writer and you're living in the world, you can give yourself sufficient plot armor.
Oh yeah, that's true as well. It's sort of like the John Candy movie. Was it Delirious?
I think so. Okay, so obviously we promised you a short interview, and we've delivered. So we've talked about your short story Have you read the rest of the collection?
Yes, it's fantastic.
All right. So you obviously like all of them, but which one stuck with your mind the longest after you read it, other than yours, obviously?
Other than my favorites were probably Lamplighters, Wright's, Declan Finn's, and Michael Gallagher's.
Okay. Well, we've interviewed Declan, and we've got Michael Gallagher on deck, so I'll have to book this lamplighter and get her on the show. But since we promised you short, we aim to deliver. Can you tell listeners how they can find you?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Twitter at nrlapoint. I have a new website up at nrlapoint.wordpress.com. I also have a Facebook author page, so getting in touch with me is pretty easy. And the new website's nice and streamlined. You can actually find my books nice and easy on there now.
Outstanding. And you can find us, dear listener, at twitter.com/SF_fantasy_show. Again, Sierra Foxtrot _fantasy_show. You can email us at blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. Again, that is blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, where all the shenanigans happen, at facebook.com/groups/Blasters and Blades Podcast. Again, /groups/Blasters and Blades Podcast. Or you could join us on our website over at anchor.fm/Blasters and Blades. Again, anchor.fm/Blasters and Blades, where you can support the show for as little as 99 cents a month. You can help keep the lights on. Or you can support the show more directly at buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley. Again, buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley. We promise to keep my co-hosts, Doc Cisca and Nick Garber, duly caffeinated. They will drink until their liver explodes. And on that note, thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. For Nick Garber and Doc Cisca, I am J.R. Handley, and this was the Blasters and Blades Podcast. We'll be back next week at the same time, where we'll indulge our love of nerd culture, cheesy jokes, and all things that go boom. And that's a wrap, people.